Hi, and welcome to my first YouTube channel review. Today we'll be looking at the Republic of Gamers Strix gaming notebook. This particular model is the Ryzen 7 1700 laptop. It's ASUS at attempt at its desktop replacement basically. This particular model is the GL702ZC, so if you're looking for the model. Opening the box, you'll see the Republic of Gamers logo. The laptop is wrapped in a nice felt-like material. You'll see the 300 watt power brick, and that's really it for the unboxing. There's really not much included in the box besides the laptop and the power brick and the cords that you would need to basically power it. Straight off the bat, the laptop feels pretty chunky, but it is a nice high quality feel and grade. The top of the laptop is made of a brushed aluminum material, and as you saw in the opening, it does light up. Opening the laptop is smooth. You'll see a 17.3 inch IPS FreeSync monitor. It runs at 60 Hz by 1920 and 1080. It's adequate for Photoshop and video editing, and more than enough for gaming. The main body feels pretty smooth, pretty good, pretty well built. As you saw before, the chiclet keyboard does light up, and the mouse pad does light up as well. Flipping it over, there is enough ventilation. Everything ports out the back of the laptop. The monitor is actually a little bit separated from the main body itself, so none of the exhaust ports are blocked. So as long as you're on a flat surface or a well ventilated area, you will have no issue. Connectivity wise, you'll see the power intake jack, the Ethernet port. It's a gigabit Ethernet port. It comes with a display port, a HDMI port, USB-C and USB 3.0, as well as a audio headphone jack. Flipping it to the other side, you'll see a USB 3.0, two of them, a Kensington lock, and an SD card. The SD card was very useful for transferring pictures and videos on the go. It does have Bluetooth capability, and it is a 2x2 AC Wi-Fi card. It's by Realtek, so you'll basically be getting gigabit Ethernet speeds over the air on Wi-Fi. Again, this is a heavy laptop, so I measured the weight. It is about 8 pounds and 10 ounces with the laptop and charger combined. So make sure you're up for the challenge of carrying this thing. Do buy a nice hefty backpack to make sure that your back isn't destroyed. Again, this laptop is a Ryzen 7 1700 processor, a desktop size one, so running Cinebench R15, it just smashes through it. It is almost as powerful as my current desktop build. I actually got this laptop to replace it, and I needed a mobile workstation basically. From the score, you can see it scores at 1376, and the 4070K is at 822. So it's almost twice as powerful as my current desktop. This model in particular does have 16 gigs of RAM. It's a 1TB hard drive, a 256GB SSD. So storage wise, it's pretty on point. Everything you could probably need for getting your workstation started. Running Cinebench, the OpenGL test, it gets 99 frames a second. So for gaming, it will definitely do a good job. Doing user bench, the results came out to it as a 40% gaming laptop, or desktop in this case. It's pretty much a desktop, and it's 73% a workstation. Again, this is geared towards professional developers and designers and maybe AutoCAD users. Gaming wise, it is still adequate. Running Uni Engine at 1080, this thing gets about an average of 70 FPS. It scored about a 2900. For gaming, I did also do PUBG, Overwatch, CSGO, basically any game that you would play today, as well as any fast-paced MMOs at 1080, you will have no issue running it. I did Stellaris as well, and maybe some RTSs if you're into that. If you're using it for gaming, it's not as good as like maybe a 1060 with maybe an i7 from Intel, but you're trading the GPU performance for basically a CPU monster. Heating wise, this thing idles at basically 55 degrees Celsius on the processor side and 50 degrees Celsius on the GPU side. It's a little warm, but not too warm. Running a standalone CPU benchmark, or basically burn-in test, the max I got it to was about 90 degrees Celsius with prime 95. So the CPU can top out, but as long as it's not blocked on the ventilation or anything and you're on a flat surface, it won't exceed basically 90 degrees Celsius. As you can see, it actually tops out around 88 degrees Celsius. The heat for the graphics side, running the Uni Engine test for about an hour, the processor and the CPU don't ever run past, in real world situations, 75 degrees Celsius as long as you're well ventilated. So if heat is a problem, it's not that bad as long as you're on a flat surface. If you're trying to run it on your bed, then you're gonna have some issues, or like anything that basically blocks the ports. I've owned this laptop for basically a month now, so I'll go into the pros that I found and the cons. Let's start with the cons. Cons, right off the bat, the battery life sucks. The battery life, I could not get, even with everything turned down, low browsing, leaving the laptop, it will run for about maybe an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes on everything set to low. But that would basically mean your processor is downclocked to 700 megahertz per core, and it's absolutely useless at that point. Max power with like browsing and gaming, you'll get maybe an hour. So if you're looking for good battery life, this is not the laptop you want. What else? Weight wise, it is heavy. It is a very heavy laptop. It's not as heavy as carrying a full-size desktop around, so there are some pros to that. It's still a pretty chunky laptop though, so it's not something you would like to whip out on an airplane. So I've tried that. It's pretty huge and cumbersome. So that still is a con in terms of weight and maybe size. But you know, you're getting a 7.3-inch laptop, so hopefully or highly doubt you'll be editing on an airplane that often. Additionally, it does give off a lot of heat, so your neighbor that you will be sitting next to will be pretty warm and cozy at the end of the day. Noise-wise, if they're not wearing headphones, or if you're not wearing headphones and you're running at maybe doing some rendering or gaming, you will definitely hear this. That is another con. Noise level is pretty loud, but as long as you have headphones and your neighbors have headphones, or you're just pretty far away from them, you should be good to go. Let's go over the pros. It is a full-size desktop laptop. Meaning it has a full-size processor crammed into the laptop. So if you're looking for desktop performance with a still kind of a mobile platform, this is your laptop. It is a Ryzen 7 1700. It is clocked at 3.2 when it's fully loaded. And let's see, it does come with 16 gigs of RAM. It's for video editors on the go, for AutoCAD designers, for anybody that does basically professional renderings or anything like that. This is your laptop to go to. Battery life is not that good, but you know, that's something you would have to sacrifice since for the portability. What else? Yeah, that's pretty much it. In my month of owning it, I've carried it to New York. I've carried it around. Getting through places, it's pretty smooth as long as you have a nice 17.3-inch size laptop like backpack or something. Carrying it will not be an issue. I'm used to carrying that much for camera equipment anyway, so throwing an extra 8 pounds is not really that much of a problem. But for other people who don't have the strength or like the ability to carry that much weight, you gotta weigh that option too. Again, the battery life is very low. It will last you until you get to basically a port. I don't think you'll be maybe away from a power plug for more than an hour. But if you are, that's how long it will probably push you for or allow you to go for. Speed wise, everything it's smooth as butter. Real world usage, it's perfect. Gaming real world usage is perfect. Overall, the only gripe is the power and the heat, to be honest. Other than that, and the weight. Other than that, besides those 3 overall cons, that's it. If you're looking to get this laptop, you need to decide or ask yourself what you're doing. First, you need to ask, will you be moving a lot? Because if you are, this thing's heavy. 2, you need to be asking if you're going to be editing videos or any professional workflows. If you are, get the laptop. It's perfect for that. 3, are you going to be gaming? Or what kind of gaming are you going to do? Are you going to do intense gaming, heavy VR work? It will probably work up to VR, maybe some 1080p gaming, but anything beyond that, it will not do. This laptop will probably overheat by then. Lastly, I will answer this question for you. Is it worth $1,500? To me, if you're looking for a desktop processor, a desktop performance level workstation with the portability of a laptop, then yes. If you can get it for anything less than $1,500, this laptop becomes all the more worth it. But you have to basically be using it for video editing, vlogging, or any professional content or media creation content to really be worth the $1,500 justification. It's obviously not as powerful as desktop you could probably build for $1,000, but the main thing you're paying for is the portability to move around. So like I said, I travel to New York. It's good for vlogging. It's good for media content creation on the go. So you need to ask yourself if you're going to be doing that. And if you're gaming in between, then it does that as well. If you guys have any questions or concerns, let me know. Leave a comment, comment, subscribe. And if you guys would like any future content to see or anything to review, leave it below and I'll try to get it and try to do a review for you guys. Thank you. Bye.